Hey there, welcome everybody to the overall 13th annual, but the third annual under the TXN Sports World banner, TXN Sports World Football Feast 2024. I am your host, Anthony Florio, joined by Michael Bullock. We are maybe awaiting the presence of good old MF Michael Fletcher. We are awaiting his arrival here. If he comes in, we'll catch him up on what he missed. If not, then we'll hopefully have him back with us Friday night for NFL Friday. If you are new to our football feast shows, this is how we do it. We are going to preview and predict the 3 NFL games that will be going down tomorrow on Thanksgiving Day. We will also preview and predict the NFL Black Friday game as well. And in the main event, we will preview all of the top 25 college football games that will go down throughout this weekend. There's one actually going down tomorrow. There are a few going on Friday, and then on Saturday, of course, rivalry week, the regular season finale in college football. So we got a very busy night ahead of us. So with all that being said, we will keep an eye on MF's arrival. But for right now, Michael Bullock and I will take you through the Thanksgiving Day games. And we are going to start with the game that will kick it all off tomorrow afternoon, 12:30 on CBS. This comes in as our number 5 game of the week. NFC North Division matchup. The Chicago Bears squaring off against the Detroit Lions, Ford Field in Detroit. Hello, friends. Jim Nance, Tony Romo, Tracy Wolfson, back from their 1-week vacation. And Detroit opening up as a 9.5-point favorite. Chicago, however, leads the all-time series 105-78 with 5 ties. Both teams split last year. Both teams winning at home. And the Lions have won each of the last 2 years at home against Chicago. They won 31-26 in Detroit last year. And then the Lions smashed the Bears 41-10 in 2022. Chicago's last win in Detroit was in 2021. That was a 16-14 final. So with all that being said, let's dive right on in. All right. The Lions are huge favorites, and they have scored 52 points the last 2 times they were favored by as many as 9.5 or double digits. This is a division game, though, and Caleb Williams has a 66.3% completion percentage with 285.5 yards a game with new offensive coordinator Thomas Brown. Detroit is more advanced, and this easily could be a blowout, but I think the Bears perhaps hang around, maybe. There is a very realistic possibility of that happening because they are a scrappy team after all. The Lions are a relentless team, and remember that they lost at home to the Packers last year on Thanksgiving. The Bears lost an overtime thriller to the Minnesota Vikings at home and will be road weary on a short week. Chicago's defense has fallen apart for Matt Eberflus, while Detroit's defense keeps on flexing for Aaron Glenn. The home team says no thanks and shows no mercy on Thanksgiving Day. So I have the Detroit Lions winning this game. I'm going to say final score is going to be 34-21. The Detroit Lions defeat the Chicago Bears to kick off the Thanksgiving festivities. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, come on in. Welcome to another football feast, and we kick it off with the Chicago Bears and the Detroit Lions, our number 5 game of the week.
Well, first off, before I do that, I just want to wish you, Anthony Florio, a very happy Thanksgiving, and of course, same to good old MF Michael Fletcher whenever he does show up. I mean, it's an honor and a pleasure to be with you once again for another football feast on this night before Thanksgiving. I mean, it's definitely, as you would say, Florio, it's the second best beautiful holiday of the year, right behind Christmas. And I just so look forward to celebrating with the family tomorrow. I'm sure as you do, Florio.
Amen, brother. Amen.
exactly. So, yeah, I'll tell you what, this Detroit Lions team they are the real deal. I mean, you thought maybe the loss of Aiden Hutchinson was going to hurt them a little bit, especially defensively, but I haven't seen it happen. And I think what you're seeing here, Florio, is the exact thing of team, because it's not just about one guy; it's everybody coming together to make sure that the job gets done, and that's what we're seeing with this Detroit Lions team. And I'm going to say this right now: I think they're the favorites to represent the NFC in Super Bowl 59. I mean, but in all honesty, I mean, I think they should have made the Super Bowl last year. I mean, they were so close to being the 49ers in that NFC Championship game, and if one or two things went their way, I think they could have done it. But this team is on a mission to get back to, to get to the Super Bowl after unfinished business. And yeah, the Chicago Bears, yeah, they're struggle defensively, and yeah, I think it's going to be a long afternoon for the Bears. So I got the Detroit Lions winning this one as well. So with that being said, Florio, let's move on to our next game on Thanksgiving Day.
And it'll be at 4:30 over on Fox. And overall, this game literally is the Zonk game of the week on either side of the ledger. The New York Giants squaring off against the Dallas Cowboys, AT&T Stadium, Arlington, Texas. And I feel so bad for the America's Game of the Week crew because they're going to be calling this game.
Well,
Kevin Burkhardt,
you know it's a tradition that they got to have the A team work on Thanksgiving.
And by the way, speaking of A teams, that is not going to be the only time you will be seeing Jim Nantz and Tony Romo this weekend. So
that's
they got a big one
right
this
there.
weekend. But anyways, New York Giants, Dallas Cowboys, AT&T Stadium in Arlington, 4:30 on Fox. Kevin Burkhardt, Tom Brady, Aaron Andrews, and Tom Rinaldi. And Dallas it's Dallas opening up as a 3.5-point favorite. Second meeting between these NFC East division rivals. Dallas went into New York and beat the Giants 20-15 on a Thursday night 2 months ago. So Dallas adds to their series lead, regular season-wise, 76-46 with 2 ties. And they've now won 7 straight against the Giants. And the Cowboys have done very well against the Giants in Dallas as of late. They've won 7 straight at home against the Giants. The Giants have not won in Dallas since 2016. That was a 20-19 final, but other than that, it's been all Cowboys in Jerry World. So, oh boy, Michael Bullock. I mean, tough one to call. A little bit tough to call, but somebody's got to win in this Zonk game of the week. Who you got?
Yeah, somebody's got to win in this one. And look, with everything that the Giants have dealt with, and of course Dallas going off of that unbelievable win against the Washington Commanders here. So I gotta say right now, I gotta go with the Dallas Cowboys here, but I would not be surprised if the New York Giants somehow were to eke one out here. So give me the Dallas Cowboys to win. So it's yours, Florio.
Yeah. Giants coach Brian Daboll is on the hot seat after an embarrassing loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last Sunday. Tommy DeVito's second stint as a starter did not get off to a great start. And Dallas showed a little fight while beating Washington. Micah Parsons had 8 tackles and 2 sacks last week. What do you think a banged-up DeVito with a forearm, or even Drew Lock, does against a team that has allowed 34 sacks? The Giants are 0-5 against the spread as an underdog of 4 points or less. The Giants are a mess and struggle to move the ball without Daniel Jones. with Brian Daboll on a scorching seat. The Cowboys pulled off a major division upset versus the Washington Commanders on the road. That would say Dallas rips New York on a short week. But it's a decent matchup for the Giants because the Cowboys cannot exploit their key defensive weaknesses as much. In the end, home field and a more seasoned backup quarterback lets the home team win, maybe on a Brandon Aubrey field goal. But nonetheless, I'm going to go with the Dallas Cowboys to win this game as well. I'm going to say the final score here. What the hey? I'll go 20-17. 20-17, but I got Dallas winning. So with that being said, let's move on to our third and final Thanksgiving game. And if I'm going to be honest, I think this is the most exciting of all three matchups. Prime time on NBC, 8:20 p.m. over on NBC, as it will feature, and this is our number 4 game of the week, by the way. This game came in at number 4 on our side of the ledger. It is good old MF's team, the Miami Dolphins, squaring off against the Green Bay Packers from the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. Mike Tirico, Jason Garrett, and Melissa Stark will have the call for that one. Miami leads the all-time series 10-6, but the Packers have won each of the last 3 meetings against the Dolphins, including the last one, Christmas Day 2022. Green Bay went into Miami and stole one from the Dolphins, 26-20. Last meeting at Lambeau was 2018. Green Bay smashed Miami 31-12. Miami's last win in Green Bay, you got to go back to 2010. That's also the last time they beat the Packers overall. 2010, the Dolphins won in Lambeau 23-20 in overtime. So with that, let's get into this matchup. The Dolphins are a trendy upset pick here, given how they've looked with Tua Tagovailoa since he returned from his concussion. How will Miami fare in what is expected to be cold and maybe snowy weather at Lambeau Field? Tagovailoa is 0-7 in games where the temperatures are 40 degrees or less, and he had 3 interceptions in his last meeting against the Packers. Miami has a top 10 run defense, so Jordan Love will have to make plays as well. Tua Tagovailoa has the new look Miami offense rolling with efficient short to intermediate passing playing off the run. The Dolphins have taken full advantage of bad defenses and favorable weather, but going to Lambeau against a dangerous defense is a different story. The compressed passing game becomes more exploitable by a Packer team that can rev up pressure to force Tua turnovers. This is going to be a fun game. Out of the 3 games, I'm looking forward to this one the most. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think it's going to be an exciting game. But considering this game's at Lambeau, I got to give a slight edge to the Green Bay Packers to win this game. They're opening up as 3.5-point favorites, by the way. So another 3.5-point spread. This one in favor of Green Bay. So I got to give a slight edge to Green Bay here. I got Green Bay winning. My final score is going to be 31-26. Green Bay defeats Miami. But I certainly would not at all be surprised if the Dolphins were to somehow steal one at Lambeau. So, but for right now, I got to give a slight edge to the Packers here. 31-26, my final. So, Michael Bullock, the most exciting of the 3 Thanksgiving games tomorrow night. The Miami Dolphins, the Green Bay Packers, frozen tundra of Lambeau Field, number 4 game of the week. Literally can go either way, but who you got?
Yeah, this is, like you said, this is definitely the best. I mean, the Dolphins, they've been playing much better since Tua Tagovailoa has returned from his concussion. But Green Bay, I mean, look, you got to say it, Florio. I mean, yes, the 49ers did not have Brock Purdy or Nick Bosa, but that to me was a statement win by the Green Bay Packers. I mean, to beat them the way they did is just unreal. And I'll tell you what, Florio, and I'm going to be quite honest with you. If these two face off in the playoffs like they did last year, and I know that's still a long way to go, but I think the Green Bay Packers can defeat them this time. Because remember, earlier this year in the divisional round, the Packers took the 49ers to the limit and could have pulled off the upset. So who knows? This Packers team is the one you need to keep an eye on in the NFC. So, but yeah, I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers too. I mean, it is at Lambeau Field. I mean, if this game was in Miami, I'd go with the Dolphins, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Dolphins do pull it out. But for right now, I got to go with the Green Bay Packers to win this one. So with that being said, Florio, we got good old MF Michael Fletcher here. So let's catch him up on the 3 Thanksgiving Day games that we just talked about.
That's right, and we both given our thoughts on them. So, good old MF Michael Fletcher, welcome to Football Feast. Glad to have you. And here we go, the 3 Thanksgiving Day games, and we'll start it off with the Chicago Bears and the Detroit Lions.
I kind of feel like this is Detroit's game. They've just been the best team out there. They've been a juggernaut up to this point. I just don't feel like Chicago's going to be much of a threat more than anything else. So I got Detroit winning and winning pretty comfortably.
The Zonk game of the week on either side of the ledger. This is the overall Zonk game of the week. The New York Giants and the Dallas Cowboys. Oof.
I got to give it to Dallas. I kind of feel like them at home is definitely is going to be the better matchup. I just feel like normally when Dallas normally plays on Thanksgiving, they really play a lot better than they do on any other game. So I feel like this is Dallas's game. You know, they dominated last year's Thanksgiving game. I think they're going to do it again this year. I got Dallas winning and winning comfortably.
All right. And by the way, that Chicago-Detroit game, our number 5 game of the week, and the game that Bullock and I just talked about, your team, MF, the Miami Dolphins, squaring off against the Green Bay Packers, the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field, number 4 game of the week. Bullock and I both have the Packers. What says you?
I'm confident enough that, yes, Green Bay is the favorite, and I think a lot of people are picking Green Bay because of not just the record, but the history of the Miami Dolphins. They don't do great on cold weather games. They don't do great in prime time. There's a lot of factors here that would give Green Bay the clear-cut edge. However, notable injuries on the Green Bay side that really hurt them just came out earlier today that kind of gives Miami a little bit of hope. But the thing is this. If we get the same Miami Dolphins that we've been getting this last month or so, there's a chance we could steal this. There's a very good chance they can steal this. So, yes, Green Bay wins it, but I think it's going to be closer than what the experts have it. So I'm going to go with Green Bay to win, but would I be stunned if Miami pulls out the upset? Absolutely not. Especially the way Tua's been playing lately. The defense looks like they've finally figured themselves out thanks to Anthony Weaver. And that offense is going ballistic right now. In the past 2 games, I think they scored over 30 points. And this is a matchup that could be very interesting to see. This is definitely a major step up for Miami, but we'll see how this plays out. So nothing more to say. Florio, it's yours.
All right, gentlemen. And with that, we move on to our second annual Black Friday NFL game. And this is our Zonk game of the week. 3 p.m. Eastern on Friday on Amazon Prime Video. As it is an AFC West division matchup. The Las Vegas Raiders squaring off against the Kansas City Chiefs. Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. Al Michaels, Kirk Herbstreit, Kaylee Hartung, they will have it. Now, of course, as we always say, not everybody has Amazon Prime Video, of course. So for the people of Las Vegas, Nevada, you can watch it on your local ABC affiliate. That's KTNV ABC Channel 13. That's in Las Vegas. Kansas City, you can watch it on your NBC affiliate. KSHB NBC Channel 41 in Kansas City. So it's the ABC affiliate for Las Vegas, the NBC affiliate for Kansas City.
Now, I remember last year, Anthony, because this was Black Friday, the entire country got to see it on Amazon Prime for free. Now, do you know if that's actually in play?
That's a good
Because
question.
they did it for Miami and the Jets last year as a special bonus for all of the Amazon subscribers or for any fan that wanted it to try out Amazon Prime. They gave you this game for free on the house. That is a key thing because if they do it again, expect some monster numbers for that game.
I'm glad you brought it up, MF. I didn't even think about that, but I'm glad you brought that up. And according to the on-the-spot research I just did, I can confirm, yes, viewers again will have free access to Black Friday football, even if you don't have a Prime membership.
That's huge. That's awesome. Good job, Amazon. Well done, boys. You're gonna make a killing off this.
Okay, so for those of you who don't have Amazon Prime Video, hey, you're getting it on the house. But for the people, but I know the people of Vegas and Kansas City will watch it on their respective affiliates, I'm sure. So even though it is our Zonk game of the week, Kansas City opening up as a 13-point favorite, an almost 2-touchdown spread in favor of the Kansas City Chiefs, and rightfully so. Second meeting, they met in Vegas a month ago. Kansas City won 27-20. So Kansas City adds to their regular season series lead, 72-54 with 2 ties. And Chiefs winning in Las Vegas, but this game's in Kansas City. And we all remember last year, Christmas Day in Kansas City, the Raiders went into Arrowhead and stole one from the Chiefs, 20-14. The Chiefs' last win at home against the Raiders was in 2022, a wild game, 30-29, the final there. So I'll start it off because it would have been my turn anyway, with the if based on the rotation here. So here we go. The Raiders will turn to Desmond Ridder at quarterback on Black Friday, and they have lost by double digits in consecutive games coming out of the bye week. Kansas City remembers what happened in last year's Christmas Day game at Arrowhead, a stunning 20-14 loss to Vegas. Kansas City is 0-4 against the spread when they're favored by 7 points or more. This might be the surprise 2-touchdown result we are not expecting, especially if Desmond Ridder makes mistakes. Of course, he's starting because of the fact that Gardner Minshew done for the season. The Chiefs are the reverse Lions in the AFC. They are not taking care of big numbers as favorites to Patrick Mahomes' liking. That message should be received by his teammates against the rival Raiders, who can't keep quarterbacks healthy and have a shell of a pass defense facing a red-hot Patrick Mahomes. That's called the Silver and Black Friday deal. Lock of the week, Kansas City is going to steamroll the Raiders. They're going to smash them 34-10. Kansas City all over Las Vegas. So not much more to say. MF, Raiders and Chiefs, Black Friday, our Zonk game of the week.
And I totally agree with everything you just said, Anthony. I kind of feel like this is an easy call to make. I kind of feel like there's not much for us to say. Expect a good day from Patrick Mahomes. Not a big day, but a good day. I think Travis Kelce will play all right. I think the defense will play fine. The Raiders are just in such a disarray right now. They were very fortunate that they got that close earlier in the year when they played back in Vegas. I just feel like Kansas City is just going to have an easy time and an easy victory. So nothing more to say. And Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, like you said, I think Kansas City should have no problem with the Raiders this time around. Unlike last year, on Christmas Day when they defeated the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City, no less. So yeah, no, I don't think we're going to see a repeat of that. So give me the Chiefs to win this one. So with that being said, Florio, let's get on to the top 25 action in college football, as we are now in rivalry week. Easy for me to say.
Yeah, it's not easy to say, I know, but alas, here we are. And by the way, quick disclaimer: the rest of the NFL slate for week number 13, we will have that for you Friday night as part of TXN Sports World NFL Friday. So, and we'll also have a quick, brief recap of the 3 Thanksgiving games and the Black Friday game as well. So, all right. So, with all that being said, here we go. 22 games in total, spanning three nights, including a Thanksgiving game. Oh, by the way. So, so with all that being said, let's dive right on in here, guys. All right, got everything all set up here. Okay. First game that'll be taking place tomorrow night, Thanksgiving night, over on ESPN. It's action from the American Athletic Conference. The number 17 Tulane Green Wave will be at home at Yeoman Stadium in New Orleans. They're going to be hosting the Memphis Tigers. And you can find this game over on ESPN. And on the call for that one will be Matt Berry, Dan Mullen, and Harry Lyles. And the spread favors Tulane. Tulane opening up as a 14-point favorite. So we'll go back to the top of the order here as we're in a new area here. So so here we go. There's obviously significant competition here from the NFL's Thanksgiving slate. This game will go up against the tail end of the Giants-Cowboys game on Fox, and then we'll go pretty much head-to-head with the Dolphins-Packers game on NBC. But for those who prefer watching the college game around their turkey festivities, there's a great group of 5 matchup here. The home Green Wave are 9-2 on the year and 7-0 in AAC play, and they're number 18 and they're number 17 in the latest CFP rankings that came out last night. That CFP ranking had them only behind number 12 number 11 Boise State, who are 10-1 overall and 7-0 in the Mountain West, and Army at 9-1 overall and 7-0 in the AAC amongst group of 5 teams. So there is potential for them to challenge for the one guaranteed G5 slot in the 12-team playoff if those other teams stumble. And they might get a crack at Army themselves in the conference title game. But the Tigers are no pushovers. Tulane's a 14-point home favorite, but they certainly cannot take this one for granted. For Memphis, quarterback Seth Hennigan is one to watch. He's thrown for 2,990 yards, 21 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, almost 64% completions. For Tulane, running back Makai Hughes, 8th nationally with 1,291 yards, rushing yards, with 15 touchdowns and averaging 5.5 yards a carry. He is also a receiving threat out of the backfield, adding 14 catches for 128 yards and 2 further touchdowns. All right. The Green Wave are 9-2 against the spread this season and have covered in 4 straight games. Memphis has allowed 40-plus points 3 times, and they're 1-2 straight up in those losses. The last 3 meetings have been decided by 10 points or less, so another shootout seems in order. But I am going to go with Tulane to win this game. My final score, 35-28, Tulane defeats Memphis. So not much more to say. MF, the college football portion of Football Feast. Your thoughts, Tulane and Memphis, to start it off.
I'm confident enough. I also think Tulane's going to win the game. I don't think there's really nothing much more for me to add on that one. So, yeah, give me Tulane to win. Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, I got the Tulane Green Wave to win this one, and they should have no problem here. So give me Tulane. So with that being said, Florio, let's get on to the Friday portion, or should I say the Black Friday portion of the schedule, and I think we got 4 of them.
We have 4, and we actually have 2. We've got 2 that will be going down in the 12 noon window. We started off with the first of the 2 12 noon games on Friday. The now number 11 Boise State Broncos at home on the Smurf turf, Albertson Stadium in Boise, and they're going to be hosting the Oregon State Beavers. And this game will be on Fox, and on the call for that game will be Tim Brando and Devin Gardner. And Boise opening up as a 19.5-point favorite. MF, you heard what I just said a few minutes ago. Boise pretty much controls their own destiny when it comes to that group of 5 spot in the college football playoff. And 19.5-point favorite on the Smurf turf. The best running back in the country, Ashton Gianti. It's got to be Boise.
It's got to be Boise. I think it's confident enough that he's going to win the game. There's no doubt about it. I kind of feel like it's going to be a simple, it's going to be simple to me. So yeah, I think Boise is going to win it, and there's really nothing more to add. So Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, like you said, Boise State controls their destiny when it comes to this, and yeah, I gotta go with the Boise State to win on their turf. So it's yours, Florio.
Oregon State broke a 5-game losing streak with a victory against Washington State, but that was at home. The Beavers have been outscored 114-44 in their last 3 road games, and Boise State has coasted a little bit. This is a chance for Ashton Gianti to impress against a run defense that allows 178 yards a game and 5.2 yards a carry. Boise wins this one going away, 37-17. Give me Boise over Oregon State. The other 12 noon game on Friday, you can watch it on ABC, and it features the now number 25 Colorado Buffaloes back at home at Folsom Field in Boulder, and they're going to be hosting the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Mark Jones, Roddy Jones, Quint Kessenich, they will have the call. Colorado opening up as a 16.5-point favorite. And Michael Bullock, I mean, Colorado, they're going to be hopping mad after they got embarrassed by Kansas at Arrowhead last week.
Yeah, that was not a good performance, and what really killed them was the running game of Kansas. Colorado gave up way too many rushing yards to this to that Kansas squad, and yeah, they're not happy with it, and I think they're going to take out their frustration on Oklahoma State here. I mean, who knows what a win would have done for Colorado, but yeah, it's not going to be a good day for Oklahoma State. I say Colorado wins this one. It's yours, Florio.
The chaos of the Big 12 this season has been fun to watch. Last Saturday saw Arizona State's bizarre win, almost a loss over BYU, Colorado's loss to Kansas, and Iowa State's win over Utah, leaving a 4-way tie at the top of the conference standings. That would be between the aforementioned Sun Devils, Cougars, Buffaloes, and Cyclones, all 6-2 in Big 12 play. But Colorado is 8-3 overall, while the other 3 are 9-2, and they're down at number 23 at number 25 in the latest CFP rankings, beyond Arizona State, Iowa State, and BYU. That Kansas loss may add further intrigue to the always present storylines around Colorado coach Deion Sanders, star quarterback, and his son, Shedeur Sanders, and 2-way star and Heisman Trophy favorite Travis Hunter. The Buffaloes came into this year with a lot of hype and attention, but some of that went away after a 28-10 road thumping by Nebraska on September 7. They have been putting up quite the run since then, though. with a 31-28 October the 12th home loss to Kansas State, the only other blemish on their record. There's been recent buzz building about how far this Colorado team has come in the Sanders era, from 1-11 in 2022 before him to 4-8 in his first season last year to now 8-3, even with his various controversial methods and approaches. But the Buffaloes are now coming off their first loss in more than a month, so this may be worth watching to see how they rebound. The Oklahoma State Cowboys, 3-8 overall, 0-8 in Big 12 play, are not the most formidable opponent, and they are huge road underdogs here. But if they put up any fight, this could be interesting. And it's also worth keeping an eye for. Oh, I misread something. All right, but if they put up any fight, I'll tell you what, this could be interesting. So this is I got to go with Colorado to win this one. I think they'll bounce back. And the big question here, though, is will both coaches be back next season? The Cowboys have not won a Big 12 game under their coach, Mike Gundy. And the Buffaloes are coming off a bad loss against Kansas City at Arrowhead under second-year coach Deion Sanders. Colorado 4-0 straight up and 4-0 against the spread at home in Big 12 play. And the Cowboys are 0-4 straight up and 1-3 against the spread on the road in the conference. I got Colorado winning this game. Give me Colorado here. 38-24. Colorado defeats Oklahoma State. And they need a get-right game. So nothing more to say here. MF, we got, like I just said, wild and crazy in the Big 12. 4-team tie. It's going to be interesting to see which two come out of it to set up the Big 12 championship game next week. But Colorado, this is a must-win and a get-right opportunity against Oklahoma State after they got embarrassed by Kansas at Arrowhead. So MF, your thoughts, Oklahoma State and Colorado?
Yeah, like you said, Colorado really, they got embarrassed by Kansas. I mean, what? Kansas is a basketball school. They're not football. And Colorado got stomped. This was a team that was turning it around, looking really good, playing like the world beaters that everybody thought that they were going to be. And then all of a sudden, they got snuffed by a Kansas team that, look, Kansas has been all right. I'm not saying that they're scrubs or they're bad or anything like that. No, absolutely not. They played a lot. They've been playing a lot more better. They've been doing really well. They got stunned. Major upset. I think Colorado will figure it out. I think they'll turn it around, and I think they'll get the win here. Really nothing more to add. Michael Bullock, it's yours, man.
I believe he led off.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I let off on it.
Yep. So, all right. So with that, we move on to our next Friday game, 3:30 p.m. over on ABC. It's the Egg Bowl, the Battle of Mississippi. The now number 14 Ole Miss Rebels back at home at things a little slow. All right. The Ole Miss Rebels at home at Vaught-Hemingway Stadium in Oxford, and they're going to be hosting their hated rivals, the Mississippi State Bulldogs, in the latest installment of the Egg Bowl. Games over on ABC. It'll be Bob Wischusen, Louis Riddick, and Chris Budden. And Ole Miss opening up as a 26.5-point favorite. So let's dive on in. The Egg Bowl rivalry games are frequently wild, with the 2019 game in particular, and the changing the course of several programs, and the 2022 game seeing Mike Leach's last win. Last year's game, played on Thanksgiving night proper, as they've usually have been, saw a less notable 17-7 win for Ole Miss, but it's still at its moments. And this year sets up as potentially interesting. The Rebels are a 26.5-point favorite against the struggling Bulldogs, but they're coming off a 24-17 road loss to Florida, and anything can happen in an Egg Bowl. Ole Miss quarterback Jackson Dart continues to be amongst college football's top passers. He is third in the FBS with 3,732 yards passing to date, with 24 touchdown passes and 6 interceptions, and completing 69% of his passes. Meanwhile, Mississippi State wide receiver Kevin Coleman Jr., 68 catches for 814 yards and 5 touchdowns, and has done well despite the Bulldogs using 2 different quarterbacks this year. We'll see what he and his team can do in this one. Ole Miss enters the Egg Bowl a heavy favorite after a stunning loss at Florida. Quarterback Jackson Dart issued an apology, and he will bounce back against a Mississippi State defense that allows almost 462 yards a game. It's still the Egg Bowl, and the Bulldogs are 4-0 against the spread as an underdog of 20 points or more under their first-year coach, Jeff Levy, who was the offensive coordinator under Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss from 2020 to 21. But regardless, I got Ole Miss, and I think Ole Miss is going to smash Mississippi State this time around. 42-19. I got Ole Miss all over Mississippi State. They got embarrassed by Florida in Florida as part of upset Saturday last week. All those upsets, they were one of them. Their college football playoff hopes pretty much dead now. And they're going to take it out on their hated rivals. 42-19, Ole Miss smashes Mississippi State. So, MF, Ole Miss, 26.5-point favorites at home against Mississippi State in the Egg Bowl. Ole Miss is going to smash them. That's just my thought. What's your thought?
I'm pretty confident that Ole Miss is going to win the game too. I don't think there's really not much to add here. I don't think there's really anything more for us to say here. So yeah, I'm in an agreement here. I think Ole Miss is going to win and win pretty comfortably. So Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, I got Ole Miss winning this one rather handily here. Yeah, they're going to take out their frustration from last week, and yeah, so give me Ole Miss to win, and Florio, I think we got one more game before we get to the Saturday portion.
We do indeed. It's a primetime game, 7:30, Friday night on ABC, and it's the Battle of Georgia. The now number 7 Made in Georgia Bulldogs at home at Sanford Stadium in Athens with the Hedges, and they're going to be hosting their hated rivals, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. This game on ABC, and on the call for this game, the voice of Monday Night Raw, Mr. Joe Tessitore, along with Jesse Palmer and Katie George. Georgia opening up as a 19.5-point favorite. MF, the Battle of Georgia, who you got?
I gotta go Georgia. I'm going with the Made in Georgia Bulldogs. I kind of feel like that's an easy call to make here. Is it going to be an interesting matchup? Yes, but I just feel like Georgia's just way too much better. So Georgia's probably should win this one going away. Nothing more to say. And Florio, Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, I got the Maine and Georgia Bulldogs winning this one as well. I mean, they should be able to take care of their business with Georgia Tech. So that being said, it's yours, Florio.
Definitely. And there's another potentially good rivalry game on tap Friday night. The Made in Georgia Bulldogs, 9-2 overall, 6-2 in the SEC. But they had a tough setback 3 weeks ago with a 28-10 loss at Ole Miss. Still, they're number 7 in the latest college football playoff rankings and are coming in off back-to-back wins, including one over Tennessee 2 weeks ago. Meanwhile, the Yellow Jackets may be 19.5-point underdogs here, but they're 7-4 overall and 5-3 in the ACC. And anything can happen in a rivalry, maybe especially with a test effect worked in. For Georgia, quarterback Carson Beck has been the focus of so much debate this year. He's thrown for 3,132 yards, 23 touchdowns, 65% completion, but he has 12 interceptions, and that leaves something to be desired. And he was held to 186 passing yards in that loss to Ole Miss 3 weeks ago. On the Georgia Tech defense, he'll have to watch out for linebacker Kyle Efford, who has team highs in tackles, 61, and sacks with 3. But at the end of the day, you know that this is another one here. But here's another bad news for Georgia Tech. Haynes King, their quarterback, Haynes King, with a shoulder injury, he's hurt again, and that will impact the game plan for the Yellow Jackets. Georgia Tech would have to turn to Aaron Philo if King cannot go. Georgia already has their spot reserved in the SEC championship game, but they are only 1-4 against the spread as a double-digit favorite this season. The only cover coming against Clemson in week 1. Will Georgia unleash another blowout here? Answer, yes. I have the Maine and Georgia Bulldogs winning this game comfortably. They should smash Georgia Tech 35-14. And now, gentlemen, here we go. We go into the Saturday slate of games. And the one that I know you two guys are going to have the most vested interest in to lead off we have 4 12 noon games on Saturday. And this is the one right here. The game. The number 2 Ohio State Buckeyes at home against their arch rivals, the reigning, defending college football playoff national champions, the Michigan Wolverines. Ohio Stadium, Columbus, Ohio, the Horseshoe. Big noon Saturday on Fox. You already know who's working it. Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt, the All-American girl, Jenny Taft. And gentlemen, I know you don't want to hear this, but I gotta be honest here. Ohio State opening up as a 20.5-point favorite. I believe Michael Bullock gets to start it off. So, all right, Bullock, here we go. We start the Saturday slate of action. The game, number 2 Ohio State hosting Michigan in the Horseshoe. Big noon Saturday on Fox. The only downside is it doesn't have the excitement or the luster that the previous 3 years did, especially last year.
It hasn't, but it's still one of the greatest rivalries in all of college football. I mean, and the thing is, it's rivalry week. We have seen a lot of crazy things happen. I mean, who knows? We could be surprised and Michigan can somehow pull it off. And of course, this is now the 120th edition of the game. I mean, as we take a look at the history, of course, Michigan leads the all-time series 61, 51, and 6. Of course, the largest margin of victory, get this, guys, was 86 when Michigan beat Ohio State 86-0 back in 1902. The longest win streak in the rivalry was by Michigan. They won 9 straight against the Buckeyes from 1901 to 1909, and the current win streak is of course 3 by Michigan from 2021 to now. And of course, the only time they didn't play was in 2020 because Michigan's team had a COVID outbreak, so that's the only time they didn't play. So for Michigan, for them to have any chance to pull off the upset, they need to get off to a fast start, not just offensively, but also defensively, to take that crowd at Ohio Stadium out. I mean, Donovan Edwards needs to have a game like he did 2 years ago in Ohio Stadium, where he ran for over 200 yards, and we all saw what happened. The defense needs to play out of their minds and get Will Howard to they need to put pressure on him, force him into some mistakes. So if they can do those things, they may have a chance. But at the end of the day, I think this is the time where Ohio State finally gets their due justice, get their first win over Michigan since 2019. So I'm going to go with Ohio State to win this one. But as I give it to you, Florio, it's rivalry week. Anything can and could happen. Michigan could somehow surprise us and pull off an upset. And I'm going to go on the record of saying this. If that happens and Ohio State somehow gets left out of the college football playoff under the 12-team rule now, I'm going to go on the record of saying this, and I don't know if you guys are going to agree with me. I think Ryan Day should get fired.
I agree.
If he can't beat this Michigan team with the way they're playing this year. If they don't, something's got to change.
Enough will be enough, and it'll be damn time for a change. There's no doubt. So, but the thing is, Bullock, I don't see that happening. But let me get into my notes here.
Oh, I don't see it happening either. But I'm just saying if it does happen.
Oh, if it does. Oh, yeah, if it does. Absolutely. Absolutely. The big game will get significant attention, as always, despite the Michigan Wolverines' struggles. They're only 6-5 on the year and only 4-4 in Big Ten play. So it's quite understandable that they're 20.5-point road underdogs against the Buckeyes. But this game's always a big deal, and it's sometimes gone the way of the significant underdog. And Ohio State has had some close wins this year, including against Nebraska and Penn State. For Ohio State, quarterback Will Howard continues to be debated, including as, quote-unquote, so not a Buckeye by ESPN Cleveland hosts. He has 2,685 passing yards, 26 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and completing 74% of his passes. So he's putting up strong rate stats, but not the overall yardage of some top quarterbacks. But hey, that's more than double that of current Michigan starter Davis Warren, who's only thrown for 1,064 yards, 6 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 64% completion, and he's done that across 5 starts. But this is a huge spread for the game. The Buckeyes are the better team, and they are highly motivated to end a 3-game losing streak to the Wolverines. Michigan's defense has allowed 50 yards rushing on 53 attempts in its last 2 games. So look for Ohio State to favor tempo with Will Howard in the short passing game. The Buckeyes defense will do the rest against the Wolverines passing attack that is non-threatening on the road and subject to game-changing turnovers. This game will resemble Michigan's loss to Texas in week 2, but the Buckeyes will not call off the dogs late given the chance. That still is too many points for a rivalry game like this. I'm sorry, guys, but I got to do it. I got Ohio State winning, and I think they're going to smash Michigan 30-13. Ohio State over Michigan. So nothing else to say. MF, this is your game. This is the game that you always have circled in blood red on the calendar. I know the last 3 years were a dream come true for you, especially last year. But I hate to say it, but I think this year, I think it's back to reality.
Yeah, this would probably be the year where Ohio State does get the revenge back on Michigan. And unfortunately, Michigan just doesn't have the squad this year. They're not what they used to be. They're a shell of what they were a year ago. So would I be stunned if Ohio State wins? No, I'm not. I would think that Ohio State should easily win this game and win this pretty comfortably. You know, there's been no other threat, no other team that's really pushed Ohio State up to this point. The only team that really got them was Oregon earlier in the year, and you know that was a close game. So yeah, if you're gonna give me a legit, you know, thought about it, no, I think Ohio State should win and win pretty comfortably over Michigan. where do they go from there? Big Ten championship game, that's going to be the big difference. How they learn from their mistakes in that situation. But if for some reason Michigan does the unthinkable and beat Ohio State, now you got a situation on the hands. But I think I'm pretty comfortable to say I think Ohio State's going to win it comfortably. Yeah, Florio, is back to you.
Quick question, Fletch. Florio and I said we think Ryan Day should be fired if they lose to Michigan. Do you agree with us, or are you gonna give him a chance?
I don't see why you give him another chance. I mean, I basically laid out everything I needed to say weeks ago about what Ohio State pride themselves on. So, I mean, if he doesn't beat Michigan, you're 1-4. I don't see any other way that this guy survives. I don't. I mean, look, if you really wanted it to push comes to shove, based on the track record, Jim Harbaugh should have been fired from Michigan years ago when he couldn't beat Ohio State. It's just that Michigan basically is like, you know what? Let's stay the course. Let's stay confident. He's our guy. Eventually, he'll get there. They were patient enough to give him the opportunity. I don't think Ohio State's going to be as forgiving if Ryan Day does not beat the Wolverines.
Especially this version of Michigan.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know what you want me to say, Michael Bullock. I think I've said it for months where I stood on that situation with Ryan Day and Ohio State.
All right.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I just wanted to reaffirm where you stand. So, yeah, like I said, if he doesn't beat Michigan, this Michigan team that's 6-5, that's different from the last 3 years, I just don't see how he survives.
Well, it'll be very interesting to see what happens.
I mean, I will be absolutely shocked if Ohio State decides to stick with him. If they somehow do lose to this Michigan team, that's far different than the last 3 years.
Oh, God forbid he loses. Yeah, it's over. It's absolutely over.
Yeah, so. It's over. It's done if he loses.
But I don't.
Especially in front of your home stadium.
Oh, God forbid. Yes, in front of the home fans. Oh, come on.
Yeah, losing 2 years ago was bad enough. But you lose to this Michigan team in your home stadium, that's going to be the icing on the cake there. I just don't see how the president of that university and the athletic director gives this guy another chance. They're going to be just like the late, great Owen Hart. Enough is enough, and it's time for a change.
That's why this is the most anticipated of the 12 noon games. So, all right. So with all that, let's move on to our next 12 noon game, the second of the four. The number this goes to the SEC now. The number 8 Tennessee Volunteers on the road against the Vanderbilt Commodores. First Bank Stadium, which is the home of Vanderbilt. This game will be over on ABC. And it'll be Dave Patch, Dusty Dvoracek, and Taylor McGregor. They will be on the call for this game. Tennessee opening up as an 11-point favorite. Tennessee needs a win to clinch a college football playoff spot. And the Vanderbilt Commodores are in position to play spoiler one last time. Vanderbilt quarterback Diego Pavia has a 53% completion percentage in losses to South Carolina and LSU. And the defense has allowed 4.8 yards a carry the last 2 weeks. Dylan Sampson is going to be tough to stop, even at home. The Vols have won the last 5 meetings by 29 points a game, and it's on Vanderbilt to show why this will be different. But I don't think it will be different. I got Tennessee winning this game 29-17. I got Tennessee winning. Yes, it's a trap game for Tennessee at Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt, not the pushover they once were. This Vanderbilt team, somewhat for real. Remember, they beat Alabama. So you never know. But for right now, I got to go with Tennessee. 29-17. MF, nothing more to say. Tennessee, Vanderbilt, MF. Trap game for the Vols, if there ever was one.
Trap game for the Vols. Yes, I understand that. And I definitely do agree with what you say about Vanderbilt. And yeah, they did get the big one. They did knock down Alabama. But I got a few choice words about Alabama later on in the show, so I'm not gonna batten down the hatches. That's all I'll say. I believe Tennessee's going to win this game. Yes, it is a trap, but I don't think Tennessee thinks that this is a trap, and I don't think that they feel it's a trap. So I think they'll win it. Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I think this is going to be close for a little while, but I think at the end of the day, I think Tennessee will just have enough to pull it out at the end. So give me Tennessee to win this one. So let's move on to our next high noon game.
And out of the 4 games, honestly, I know it's all about Michigan and Ohio State, but to be honest, when it comes to records and rankings, this is the big game of the 12 noon window right here. The number 12 Clemson Tigers at home, Memorial Stadium in Death Valley, and they're going to be welcoming their hated rivals, the number 15 South Carolina Gamecocks. This game will be over on ESPN, and on the call for that game, it'll be Roy Philpott, Sam Acho, and Taylor Davis, and Clemson opening up as a 2.5-point favorite. MF, the Battle of South Carolina, maybe the most anticipated South Carolina Clemson game, maybe ever. Clemson looking, they're in the race for the ACC Conference Championship, and South Carolina, with how damn good they've been lately, they would love nothing more than to play spoiler for Clemson.
If Clemson loses, Miami and SMU is your ACC championship game. It's guaranteed. In order for Clemson to win, they would need to win their game, and they would need Miami to lose. I think SMU does not have any more games. I think they're done, at least ACC-wise. Miami plays Syracuse. We'll cover that in a little bit. But if Miami wins, then the ACC game is locked. Clemson cannot get in, and consequently, if Clemson cannot get a shot at the ACC championship game, I don't think they get into the playoff at all. I think they're out, and they're out altogether. South Carolina, yes, they've been playing great lately, and they could absolutely slam the door on Clemson and really knock them out altogether, end their season, which would be, man, South Carolina, if they did that, oh my God, that would be epic for them. At the end of the day, I just feel like Clemson's going to find a way to win it. I'm not going to say it's going to be the biggest victory. It's going to be close, but I'm going to give Clemson just a slight edge here. So Clemson wins. Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, this is going to be a really good matchup here with Clemson and South Carolina. I mean, another great rivalry here, but it's going to be close. But I think Clemson will somehow pull it out here. So, give me Clemson to win this one. So, let's. It's yours, Florio.
Believe it or not, Clemson can lose this game and still back into the ACC championship game. But South Carolina is arguably the hottest team in the SEC at this point. The Gamecocks are averaging 218.5 rushing yards a game the last 4 weeks. And Clemson's run defense has been hit or miss. Can the Gamecocks win in Death Valley again? They could. They absolutely could. But I'll say it like this. If this game was at South Carolina, if it was at Williams-Brice, I would have gone with South Carolina for the upset. But there's just something about Clemson and Memorial Stadium. I got to give a slight edge to Clemson. I'm going to be honest. I'm not overly confident about this. But because the game is at Clemson, and considering how tough a place that is to win, I got to give the slight edge to Clemson here. 28-26, Clemson over South Carolina, but I would not at all be surprised if South Carolina pulled the upset here. Final 12 noon game from the Big Ten, the number 23, Illinois Fighting Illini on the road against the Northwestern Wildcats from the friendly confines of Wrigley Field in Chicago, the home of the Chicago Cubs, of course. And this game will be over on the Big Ten Network. It'll be Chris Vosters and Matt Millen. They will have the call. And Illinois opening up as a 7.5 point favorite. So I believe Michael Bullock starts this one off. So Bullock, number 23, Illinois at Northwestern, Big Ten Network, Wrigley Field. How about that?
Yeah, I mean, this being at Wrigley Field, I think this should be a really good one. I mean, to me, it's going to be close for a little while, but I think at the end of the day, I got to go with the Fighting Illini to win this one. So give me Illinois. It's yours, Florio.
Illinois has a chance to cap a 9-win season against their rival Northwestern Wildcats, who have taken back-to-back blowouts against Ohio State and Michigan in each of the last 2 weeks. Will that wear on Northwestern here? The Wildcats won a wild 45-43 shootout last year, but the Illini are better this year, and the Illini win with defense this time around. So I am going with Illinois to win this game. My final score, 28-18. Illinois defeats Northwestern at Wrigley Field. Nothing more to say. MF, your thoughts?
Yeah, Illinois beats Northwestern. I don't think there's really much more to add, so Florio is yours.
All right, gentlemen, are you ready for the most loaded 3:30 slate we've ever had, maybe in the history of this show? 7, count them, 7 3:30 games that we're going to be getting into. So let's go, boys. Here we go. And we're going to start it off in the Big Ten with the number 4, Penn State Nittany Lions at home, Beaver Stadium, Happy Valley, and they are going to be hosting the Maryland Terrapins. And you can find this game over on the Big Ten Network. And on the call for that game will be Jeff Levering, Jake Butt, and Brooke Fletcher. They will be on the call. And Penn State opening up as a 24.5 point favorite. So Penn State can clinch a spot in the college football playoff here, and the Nittany Lions might even get a home game in the first round. Maryland is stuck in a 4-game losing streak, but they are 3-3 against the spread as an underdog and hung around with Oregon last week. Penn State quarterback Drew Aller has a 77% completion percentage with 5 touchdowns and 0 interceptions in the last 3 games. It's a lot of points, but Penn State finds a way to win this one going away. I got Penn State smashing Maryland 38-10. Penn State all over Maryland. I believe they'll punch their ticket to the college football playoffs. So not much more to say. MF, number 4, Penn State at home against Maryland to kick off our loaded 3:30 slate.
Yeah, I totally agree. Penn State wins. Nothing more to add. Bullet go.
Yeah, I got Penn State winning this one as well. So let's move on to our next game.
And to be honest with you guys, out of all the 3:30 games, this is the one that I'm going to have the most vested interest in. Aside from another game, of course. But this is the one for me. The Big Ten on CBS. The number 5. How about this? The number 5 Notre Dame Fighting Irish on the road against the USC Trojans. The Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum in Los Angeles. Big Ten on CBS. You know who's working this one. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, Jenny Dell. Notre Dame opening up as a 7.5-point favorite. Another one of the great rivalries of this week. That's why we love this week so much. MF, number 5, Notre Dame at USC in the Coliseum. The regular season finale of the Big Ten on CBS.
Yeah, and this is going to be an interesting matchup. But the thing is, Notre Dame, it looks like they're just on a mission right now. I think after that loss to Northern Illinois, it kind of woke the Fighting Irish up. And it kind of brought them back to where they wanted it to be all along. As a major threat, as a major team, they went through the Army, they went through the Navy. Everybody was saying, oh, that might be interesting matchups. And Notre Dame just crushed them. Notre Dame's just been that kind of team now where basically they've been challenged every week up to this point and they've answered the bell. USC has had a couple of good games and then a couple of bad games, and they've been up and down, and you never know what type of USC team you're going to get. I'm sorry. I don't see it. I don't see this being even close. Notre Dame is going to blow out USC in the Coliseum, and it's not even going to be close. 3-touchdown win for the Fighting Irish. I called it last week. You guys kind of said, I don't know. And I was right. It was a blowout. It's gonna happen again. Notre Dame wins and wins big. Bullock, it's yours. This is my lock of the week, by the way.
And that's why MF is our hype guy, and this is why, and Florio, you know this very well. This is why we never go against anything MF says. When he speaks like that, we all listen.
You listen, and you take that sucker to the bank.
Damn straight to that. And I'm sorry, and I think this is going to be a blowout as well. And Fletch, you said they were going to win by 3 touchdowns. Am I correct on that?
Yes,
yes, I called for 3.
Well, you know what? I'll see your 3-touchdown win by Notre Dame, and I'll raise it to a 4-touchdown win. Notre Dame is on a mission. They want to get to the they want to be in the college football playoff, and they want to go on a deep run. And USC is just not that same team that Notre Dame has faced in the past. Notre Dame wins, and it's going to be a 4-touchdown victory for them. So yes, Fletch, I see a 3-touchdown win, and I raise it to 4. It's yours, Florio.
Yes, indeed. And this is the featured game of the 3:30 window, no doubt about it. Even more so than a certain other game, believe it or not. But it is challenging to not choose the Iron Bowl as the featured game here. But with Alabama down to number 13 in the rankings, in the CFP rankings, and Auburn 5-6 overall and 2-5 in conference, albeit with a great 4-overtime win last week against A&M, the Notre Dame USC matchup looks more significant, and it's closer by odds too. The Trojans are 7.5-point home underdogs here, while Auburn is 11.5 road underdogs in the Iron Bowl. The Fighting Irish are 10-1 and coming off a 49-14 smashing of a very good Army team at Yankee Stadium, and they're up to number 5 in the CFP rankings. and USC is coming off 2 straight wins. This jeweled shillelagh clash is also a famed rivalry game, with the series dating back to 1926 and being played 94 times to date. Notre Dame has won 5 of the last 6 meetings. However, USC won the last game that was played at the Coliseum in 2022. USC running back Woody Marks is a key figure for the Trojans with an even 1,100 yards, averaging 5.7 a carry. And for the Irish, defensive lineman Riley Mills, he's the one to watch. 6.5 sacks and 33 tackles to date. Notre Dame can clinch a spot in the college football playoff here, and the Irish's defense has dominated the last 5 weeks. USC quarterback Jaden Miava has shown progress in 2 starts, but the Irish defense is different. Notre Dame has a plus 13 turnover ratio in its last 6 games, and they have covered the spread in all of those games. USC is 4-1 straight up at home this season with an overtime loss against Penn State. The Irish's running game will be the difference, and Jeremiah Love, who has 3 100-yard games in each of the last 4 weeks, he will be the star. The Trojans will make it a little interesting, but the Irish are a good road dog here. Notre Dame wins this one 31-20. Notre Dame will defeat USC. Notre Dame on their way to the college football playoff will win here. All right. Next up. Well, we talked about MF earlier. You talked about SMU. Well, SMU actually has 1 ACC game left. The number 9 SMU Mustangs at home at Gerald J. Ford Stadium in Dallas. And they're going to be hosting the California Golden Bears. And you can find this game over on ESPN2. And on the call for that game will be Brian Custer and Rod Gilmore. And it's SMU opening up as a 13.5-point favorite. I believe Michael Bullock starts this one off. So Bullock, number 9 SMU at home against California. One last tune-up for them before they go to the ACC championship game in their first year in the ACC. What a story for SMU.
Yeah, like you said, what a story for SMU. I mean, first year in the ACC, and they're going to the Big Ten ACC championship game, I should say. And this is, like you said, their final tune-up before that. And the thing is, they need to stay the course here. They cannot look ahead to the ACC championship game. They need to focus on California right now. They need to, if they could just beat them like they're supposed to, I don't see them losing the ACC championship game. So I'm going with SMU, but Florio, as I give it to you, they need to focus on California right here, right now, and not look ahead to the ACC championship game next Saturday.
I hate to say this, but I went out of order here. There was one game that we should have done before, but we've already gotten into it, so we're just gonna stay the course on this one.
We're just gonna roll with it.
Yeah, I do apologize, but then again, when you have so many games to keep track of, it's not easy at all. But anyways, when it comes to this Cal and SMU matchup here, SMU clinched its spot in the ACC championship game and can make a case for an at-large berth by finishing 11-1 in the regular season. Cal has 5 losses by a combined 17 points this season. The Golden Bears have a plus 13 turnover ratio as well. This is a bit of a trap game for the Mustangs, who are 2-4 against the spread as a double-digit underdog. But nonetheless, I got SMU winning this game. 32-24. SMU defeats Cal. And there isn't much more to say. So MF, Cal, and SMU. SMU, 1 ACC game left, and this is it against Cal before the championship game.
confident enough to say SMU should win this game and win this one pretty comfortably. So I really got nothing more to say here. So, Loyo is yours.
Yes. The game that we should have talked about in the last spot, the number 6 Miami Hurricanes on the road against the Syracuse Orange. It's not known as the Carrier Dome anymore. It's now known as the JMA Wireless Dome, but we'll always call it the Carrier Dome in Syracuse on ABC. And on the call for this game will be Mike Monaco along with Kirk Morrison, and Miami, the U, opening up as a 10.5-point favorite. So the question here is this the upset of the week? Syracuse is 4-2 against the spread as an underdog this season, and quarterback Kyle McCord is an unpredictable high-volume passer. Miami quarterback Cam Ward is predictable. He will put up huge numbers, and Miami will take over in the second half. The Hurricanes are 2-3 against the spread as a double-digit favorite in ACC play. A shootout seems inevitable, and the Orange can keep it close if Kyle McCord limits the turnovers. But at the end of the day, I got to go with the U. I got Miami winning this one. It's going to be a shootout, though. 39-31, Miami holds off a very game Syracuse team in the Carrier/JMA Wireless Dome in Syracuse. And that will put Miami in the ACC championship against SMU next week. So give me the U, 39-31. MF, your other team here, the U at Syracuse. Oh, if this isn't a trap game, what is?
Yeah, but I kind of feel like Miami's going to survive it. I mean, they almost got themselves caught in a trap about a week ago, but then they kind of put the foot down in the second half and won that game. I just don't see it happening now. It could have happened a short time ago. It never did. I think Miami's heading to the ACC championship game. Nothing more to add. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Miami to win this one as well. So yeah, there's nothing more to say. So let's move on, Florio.
Okay, Penn State, Notre Dame, Miami, SMU. Okay. All right. I think this is the game right here. I think this is the one. Here we go. It's the Iron Bowl. The number 13 Alabama Crimson Tide at home at Nick Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium, hosting their hated rivals, the Auburn Tigers. This one is on ABC, and I believe I want to say Sean McDonough's crew is working this game, I believe. I apologize, that froze on me for a moment. Yes, it's going to be Sean McDonough, Greg McElroy, and Molly McGrath. And Alabama opening up as an 11.5-point favorite. And I think it's only fitting that MF starts this one. MF, I know earlier in the show you said you had some choice words for Alabama, so you have my permission. Go ahead and unleash hell on them.
The thing with Alabama is this. I think I'm getting sick and tired of everybody trying to manipulate a situation about how Alabama can get into the college football playoff with 3 losses. I mean, you just got smoked by Oklahoma. And you want me to think about you still have a shot to get into the playoffs? I mean, if 2 losses couldn't get you in last year, how the hell can you justify 3 to get you in this year? You can't. I am getting sick and tired of ESPN, of this stupid college football playoff committee, and this stupid effing bias about the SEC. I'm sick of it. I don't give a rat's ass about the Southeastern Conference. I don't. As a Big Ten guy, as a guy who's loyal to the ACC, the SEC could go straight to hell for all I care. Fuck Alabama, fuck Georgia, fuck Florida, fuck all your teams. I don't give a shit. So, I don't even care. I don't. We had to deal with a freaking moron named Jason Hixenbach, who is an Alabama lover and everything else. Where the hell is he now? Excommunicado. Why? Because he's a dipshit. He's a piece of shit. He's like every other Alabama trash that I deal with. So, you get offended by this? I don't give a F. I don't. So, at the end of the day, Bama does not deserve to be in the playoffs. I don't give a damn what you think or what you feel, what you say. You don't. You're not even making the SEC championship game. So what difference does it make that you're not getting in there, huh? You can't win your championship. You can't play for the SEC championship. What the hell is this to make this common ground that you get to get into the college football playoff? And then you get the morons like Paul Feinbaum. Oh, Alabama still has a chance. Don't give me that shit. Don't. Save it for somebody who actually gives a damn. Bama's going to win the Iron Bowl, but based off the body of work, they don't deserve to be in the playoffs. They don't. And if I start hearing all this SEC bullshit about the bias and everything else, you want somebody's head to explode? It's going to be my head exploding. That's all I'm saying. Because if it denies a good team who deserves to be in the college football playoff instead of this, then I say the hell with the college football playoff. I might not even want to cover the shit this year. Bullock, it's yours.
And I'm going to put you on the spot right now, Fletch. What will be your reaction if Alabama somehow, some way gets in
rigged.
there with three losses?
It's rigged. It's rigged. It's bullshit. It's ESPN demanding that money. They want the money. They want the ratings. Get the F out of here.
And if that happens, I smell one of the biggest Viper rants coming. I could smell it. And you know what? I'm with Fletch on this one. When I first heard the people saying, "Oh, Alabama can still find a way into the college football playoff," you know what? ESPN and all you other SEC dick riders and all the SEC supporters, all you clowns, all you drones out there, you know what? You can go fuck yourself. Fuck the SEC. Fuck Alabama. Fuck Georgia. Fuck anybody in that conference. And oh yeah, fuck the SEC network. Because ESPN wants to see somebody from the SEC win it. You know what? You guys can all go screw yourselves. I mean, especially you, Paul Feinbaum, who says, "Oh, they still got a way to get in there." Don't give me that bullshit. And I'm with Fletch here. I'm going to say it right here, right now. If Alabama gets in there, the whole fucking thing is rigged. I'm saying it right now. I mean, I say get rid of the damn thing and go back to. And I know some people are going to say, "Oh, don't bring back the BCS." If this whole, I don't. Oh, this thing just pisses me off. And and I'm with Fletch. If Alabama gets in there, I don't even want to even talk about the college football playoff. Florio, if Florio wants to, he could do it. But me and Fletch, we will have no say.
Nope, I'm not either. I'm boycotting it too.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not even going to talk about it at all. So, Alabama wins. And to everybody, every SEC dick writer out there who supports it, you guys can all go fuck yourselves. I'm done. I'm finished. And I'm telling you this, Florio, right here, right now. Alabama gets in. Not only will I boycott the college football playoff, but watch out. I'm going on a major phenom rant, the biggest one I've ever done, and I'm going to unleash hell.
We are going to have to get in line. MF's going to lead the charge on this one, like he just did. So
sorry we had to use all that foul language, but with everything I've been hearing from ESPN and everybody who's like, "Oh, Alabama can get in there," I'm like, I know this is Florio's channel, but I don't give a shit. I'm going off and I'm using that foul language.
I just like any other team. And the thing is, I've heard this one girl is like, Boise State and Tulane doesn't even deserve to be in the college football playoff. No, I'm dead serious. And then she said that it's because of the so-called cannibalism attitude. And the thing is, everybody's eating everybody up. She's right in a way. Her method is wrong. Her take is horrible. But it is. Basically, the Big 12, the Pac-12 has been literally reduced to nothing because the SEC, the ACC, and the Big 10 kind of gobbled up everybody and basically took a Big 5 and turned it into a Big 4. And I think to punish like a Boise, who's by far one of the best Power 5s, deserves to be in the playoffs, does. Like,
and who's to blame for all this? Who's to blame for all this?
Huh?
And who's to blame? The fucking SEC.
Well, no, wait. If you really want to blame this, if you really want to go there, Michael Bullock, if you really want to go there, the Big 10 started it. When they grabbed Oregon, USC, and UCLA. When they pulled that started everything.
Well, so I'm trying to be very careful because I'm a Big 10 guy.
I'm not going to be. No. Michael Bullock, I ain't going to be careful. I don't give a damn. The Big 10 started this shit. I'm sorry, but our conference started this. We were the ones that raided the cabinets. We were the ones that went in and poached teams out west. So no, so I know a lot of people's like, oh, but what about when the SEC grabbed Georgia? No, not Georgia, Texas and Oklahoma, because they were responding from what happened in between when the Big 10 did the raiding. So I'm sorry, Big 10 started all this bullshit.
The person who's running the Big 10, I think he should be scrutinized because he was the one that snatched Oregon. He was the one.
No. He has been scrutinized. But the thing is, he's flown under the table because everybody is attacking SEC. So no, the Big 10 commissioner, he's been flying under the radar because Big 10 is not that big. But they're not even, they get all these deals with NBC, with CBS, with Fox. They have their own network. They're doing fine, but nobody cares because the SEC is the biggest thing that's right now is bigger than sliced bread because they were on ESPN.
But the thing is,
The
the
only
SEC
reason
is
why
the SEC has
we
been
don't give enough, no, the only reason why we're not giving any more harder criticism about the Big Ten is because a lot of people want to skate by the Big Ten, thinking, oh, they're not, it's nothing. They're doing what they're doing what they're doing. Look at the college football playoff. How many teams are in the Big Ten that's in the playoff right now? Look
Yeah.
at it.
Why
A
isn't
lot.
anybody from the Big 12 in it? Why isn't anybody from what else? What other conference I'm thinking of that's never
American
gotten a chance?
Athletic. I mean, ACC, Big 10, Big 12. I mean, remember, there's no Pac-12 anymore.
No, Pac-12 got gutted.
There's only 2 teams left, and that's Oregon State and Washington State. And now, gentlemen, if I may throw my 2 cents in on this, I'm going to take this a step further when I say this.
Go ahead.
If, God forbid, the Alabama Crimson Tide find their way into the playoff, I'm not only boycotting the playoff, and I want you all to look into my eyes when I say this. Bama gets in, I am never, ever watching another college football game for as long as I fucking live. Period. End of statement. End of quotation. Done.
Oh, my brother. Oh, testify.
I just did. And I'm putting that to bed right now.
And you know what? I'm with Florio on this one. I'm seconding it. I'm joining him in that boycott of college football if that happens.
Well, the thing is, we still got to wait to see what happens because still there's a lot of games that need to be played.
Well, I'm just saying if it gets to that point.
If it holds status quo, then yes, Bama should not get in. But everybody else needs to do their job, which means Ohio State, you must win on Saturday. Oregon, you must win. It doesn't matter what you do, you gotta win out. All these teams that are right now ahead of Alabama needs to win their games because one slip, not only does Bama get a look at this, so does Clemson. That's the other factor because Clemson's the other team that's on the outside looking in. So the first team that gets through would be Clemson. Then comes Alabama. So let this week fall the way it may. If we get the chaos like we get last week, Bama's in. I'm sorry. I don't give what anybody says. Bama gets in. We may be pissed about it, but the thing is, your teams didn't do the job. Your teams fucked up when they did it, when they should not have. That's the factor, boys. And that's the thing that I got to call out. So all your teams that want your team to get in, do your fucking job. Win on Saturday. That's all that you need to do.
And then
the thing I worry about is what if they all do their job and yet Alabama still finds their way in?
No. If that's where now this is where we all get pissed. But the thing is, if they do their job, if all these teams win, there's no way you can add Bama in there. There's no way. You can't.
But
there's
again,
no possible path or there would be no logic for them to get in. Just like I was saying about Clemson. Same thing.
But again, it all goes back to what you and I talked about. The favoritism. With the way ESPN talks about how Alabama can still get in.
Yeah, but remember, everybody was saying that last year, and look what happened. Bama got dumped by Michigan. So that doesn't necessarily mean they're getting through. Well, okay, hypothetical. If Bama gets that 12th spot, guess who's sitting and waiting? Either you got Boise State or you run into Ohio State. And you don't think the Buckeyes have not forgotten what Alabama did to them?
I think everybody will be pulling for Buckeye Nation to not only beat
Oh, don't even get me
Alabama.
started about Buckeye Nation. I don't even want to hear that, Bullock. Don't.
No, I'm only saying
I
because
I
of what they
know,
did.
I know, no, but don't. I don't
I
want to
wasn't.
hear it.
I wasn't
I
trying
don't
to
want to
start
hear it.
it.
Nope. Okay, we all good here. So
I don't know about you, Florio, but I think you're gonna have to put some kind of like parental discretion is strongly advised after.
oh, most assuredly, I am.
Yeah, no, we're good. We're good. Move
Okay.
on.
Okay. We have quite a few more games to get into here. Hopefully that concludes the rant portion of the night. So
Maybe we should try to go rapid fire on some of these.
we'll do the best we can. Okay. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Okay. Let's see. Here we go. I got to give my thoughts on the Iron Bowl here. MF, I know you said you had Bama winning. Bullock, I'm sure you got Bama winning as well. So, is there room for the Iron Bowl to get wild? We think so. Auburn has put together back-to-back wins, and Alabama has been an inconsistent team on a week-to-week basis. Hugh Freeze and Kalen DeBoer will favor aggressive play calling, and that will lead to turnovers. Auburn's defense allows 3 yards to carry. Jalen Milroe bounces back and plays hero again, but it will not be easy. I got Bama winning this one, 30-20. Bama wins the Iron Bowl. So, okay, let's move on. This next 3:30 game, I believe they call this the Territorial Cup. I believe they call this it's the Battle of Arizona, and it will feature the number 16 Arizona State Sun Devils squaring off against their hated rivals, the Arizona Wildcats, from Arizona Stadium in Tucson, Arizona. And you can find this game over on Fox. And on the call for that game will be, let's see, it will be, find it in my sheet here. It is Jason Benetti, Brock Heward, and Allison Williams. And the spread favors, I believe it favors Arizona State here. Yes, Arizona State opening up as a 9-point favorite. God. Bullock, I believe, goes on this one. Am I correct? So
Yes, Bullock leads off.
Okay. All right. So, all right, Bullock, hopefully we're all calmed down now after that explosion there. So, all right, Arizona State, Arizona, let's get back to business here.
What was the point spread?
9 for Arizona State.
Yeah, I gotta go with Arizona State to win this one. So it's yours.
Yeah, I got to go with Arizona State as well. Arizona State can clinch a spot in the Big 12 championship, the Big 12 championship game, and the Sun Devils have been balanced on offense with just 2 turnovers during the 4-game winning streak. Arizona is in pure spoiler mode after losing 5 of their last 6 games. Arizona State is 6-0 against the spread when favored by 10 or more points, or 10 or less points, rather. And only one of the last 5 games between these teams was decided by 1 score. I got Arizona State winning as well, 38-23. Arizona State wins the Territorial Cup. MF, your thoughts?
Arizona State wins Territorial Cup. Nothing more to add. Florio, let's move on.
All right. And I think we have one more 3:30 game to get into. Yes, this one from the SEC. Sorry, guys, but here you go. It's the number 21 Missouri Tigers at home against the Arkansas Razorbacks. Memorial Stadium, Farott Field in Columbia, Missouri. SEC Network will have that game at 3:30. And it'll be Taylor Zarzar, Matt Stinchcomb, and Alyssa Lang. They will be on the call for that game. And Missouri only opening up as a 3-point favorite. It's a 3-point spread for Mizzou. So let me find it here. It should be in here somewhere. Okay. Missouri is a 3-loss team that has battled injuries throughout the season. Brady Cook and Nate Noel are healthy, and that should make a difference against Arkansas, which clinched bowl eligibility in Week 13. Tigers are 9-0 against the spread as a home favorite, though, or through this 2-year run, but they are 4-5 against the spread in that stretch. Still, Coach Eli Drinkwitz clinches a 9-win season in the new look SEC. That is impressive for them. I got Missouri winning, close game, 27-20. Missouri over Arkansas. MF, your thoughts?
Missouri over Arkansas is going to be closer than what the experts have it. Arkansas is actually a really good team at home. They really play really hard.
It's at Missouri.
Well, but Arkansas does give the team some fits because Arkansas can give them some fit.
Oh yeah.
So that's why I think Missouri will win, but I think it's going to be closer than what the experts have it. So Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I think Missouri is going to win this one, and I think it's going to be a really close one as well. So it's yours, Florio.
All right, guys, we move on to the primetime games now. I believe we have 6 of them here. So let's get into our next one here. 7:00 kickoff. FS1, Fox Sports 1 will have it. The number 10 Indiana Hoosiers at home against the Purdue Boilermakers, Memorial Stadium in Bloomington, Indiana. FS1 has this game. And it's double duty for Tim Brando and Devin Gardner. They will also be on the call for this game as well. And Indiana opening up as a 28.5-point favorite. MF, Indiana is going to be bringing the tiki torches and the pitchforks to Purdue after they got embarrassed by Ohio State last week.
Absolutely. They still feel like maybe they have a shot to make the Big Ten championship, but they really need a lot of help. They need Michigan to beat Ohio State. We need Penn State to lose their game as well to get there. If they do, then Indiana has a shot to get there, but I don't think they will. I think they will be an at-large team. I think they get into the college football playoff. Indiana wins regardless. So nothing more to say. Bullock, is yours.
Yeah, I got to go with Indiana as well. I mean, they want payback from. I mean, like you said, they're bringing out those tiki torches after what happened last week against Ohio State. Indiana wins. It's yours, Florio.
Yeah. The only thing is Indiana has not beaten Purdue since 2019, and the Hoosiers might pour it on here coming off the loss to Ohio State. The Boilermakers are 1-3 against the spread as an underdog of 20 or more points, and they lost to Ohio State, Oregon, and Penn State. Listen to this, guys, by a combined score of 129-10. Yeesh. If Indiana can pour it on here, they will. Indiana's going to smash Purdue 40-10. Indiana all over Purdue. We move on now to, we got 3 7:30 games, and we started off with the Big Ten and the number 1 team in all the land, the number 1 Oregon Ducks at home, Autzen Stadium, Eugene, Oregon, hosting the runners-up from last year, the Washington Huskies. This is Big Ten Saturday night on NBC. Noah Eagle, Todd Blackledge, Catherine Tappan. They will have it. And Oregon opening up as an 18.5-point favorite. And who leads off on this one? Bullock?
I do.
Bullock.
Yep, it's Bullock. Okay. Bullock, the number one team in all the land, the Oregon Ducks at home against the Washington Huskies, Big Ten Saturday night on NBC.
Yeah, I got Oregon winning this one, and I don't see this one being close. So give me the Ducks. It's yours.
It's unusual to see these longtime rivals squaring off with each other than with Washington State and Oregon State in the week of Thanksgiving. But at least those other rivalry games were preserved, albeit on different dates after the fall of the Pac-12. And now we get the Huskies and Ducks facing off in a good rivalry game slot, even if this is now a Big Ten rivalry rather than a Pac-12 one. Oregon, number 1 in the CFP. Oregon is the only unbeaten FBS team left at 11-0, 8-0 in Big Ten. They're huge home favorites here against Washington, but plenty of upsets have happened in this long-running rivalry, and the Huskies have won it the last 3 times. While Oregon quarterback Dylan Gabriel gets a lot of attention for the Ducks, they also have an excellent ground game. Running back Jordan James has collected 1,067 rushing yards and 11 rushing touchdowns so far, averaging 5.6 yards a carry. But the Huskies have a good ground attack as well, with Jonah Coleman picking up 1,008 rushing yards, 9 rushing touchdowns to date, and averaging 5.8 yards a carry. And this is definitely going to go the way of Oregon here. That's a heavy line on the road between it's a heavy line between rivals. Oregon had a bye week to prepare, however, and the Ducks will have success on the ground against the Huskies defense that allowed 200 plus rushing yards and losses to Iowa and Penn State. It's a tough assignment at Autzen Stadium, and Oregon coach Dan Lanning gets his first victory against Washington. Oregon wins 34-16. So not much more to say there. And we move on to the game of the week. Yes, it is the SEC, but high stakes in this one, guys. It's the ABC Saturday night game of the week. The number 3 Texas Longhorns on the road against the number 20 Texas A&M Aggies. Kyle Field, College Station, Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, Holly Rowe. They will have it. Texas opening up as a 5.5-point favorite here. And it's very simple. Whoever wins this game will face the Maiden Georgia Bulldogs in the SEC championship game next week. So high stakes here. These rivals, believe it or not, these rivals have not met since 2011, and the winner goes to the SEC championship game against Georgia. It's an all-in game for the Aggies, who have no other road to the college football playoff. Texas has coasted a little bit in the second half of the season, but they still rank 3rd in the FBS with a defense that allows 12 points a game. That defense is not getting enough credit. Quinn Ewers, off an ankle injury, likely will play through the injury. He's got 9 touchdowns and 0 picks in his last 3 games. The rivalry factor is high, but I believe Texas will get through it and reserve its spot in the SEC championship game, and will have revenge on their minds against the Maiden Georgia Bulldogs next week. Close game. Texas wins 29-22. MF, game of the week. Number 3 Texas, number 20 Texas A&M, Kyle Field. Who's going to play Georgia in the SEC championship game next week?
It's Texas. It's Texas. I think that it'll be them. They'll get to the championship. Now, I may say whatever I want to say about the SEC, but Georgia, Texas, these are teams that are worthy of being in the playoffs. They've done it all year long. The body of work, they would be worthy of that spot. They're worthy of their positioning. So I would like to see them run it back, and then whoever wins gets obviously the guaranteed top 4 slot in the college football playoff. I honestly think if Oregon wins out, you'll see Oregon as the number 1 overall seed going in. So nothing more to say. Bullock, it's yours. Texas wins.
Yeah, I got Texas winning this one as well. So let's move on, Florio.
The final 7:30 game, another good one. This one out of the Big 12. The number 18 Iowa State Cyclones at home against the number 24 Kansas State Wildcats. Jack Trice Stadium in Ames, Iowa. And this game, you can find it over on Fox. And it'll be Connor Onion and Mark Helfrich. They will have the call. Iowa State opening up as a 2.5-point favorite. So I believe MF starts this one off. So MF, this is part of that logjam, that top-heavy logjam in the Big 12. Number 18, Iowa State, at home against number 24, Kansas State.
Yeah, this is logjam city. I'm going to go Iowa State. I think they're going to win this game. It's not going to be the most beautiful game, but I think it's going to be just enough where they'll get by. So Iowa State wins. Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I got Iowa State winning this one as well, so it's yours, Florio.
Iowa State can clinch a spot in the Big 12 championship with a victory and quote-unquote Farmageddon in a battle with the Wildcats. The Cyclones have won 3 of the last 4 meetings, but they rank 15th in rushing defense in the Big 12. Kansas State has been inconsistent, but it is a simple theme. The Wildcats are 9-0 when quarterback Avery Johnson throws less than 2 interceptions, and 0-3 when he does. Will the Cyclones get a few turnovers? I don't know, but what I do know is I have Iowa State winning this game as well. Close game. high-scoring game, 33-28. Give me Iowa State to defeat Kansas State. 2 games left, and we go to the Mountain West. 8 o'clock kickoff. CBS Sports Network will have this game. The number 22 UNLV Rebels at home against their hated rivals, the Nevada Wolfpack, Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. And the spread favors UNLV. 17.5-point spread for UNLV. I believe Michael Bullock starts it off. So Bullock, number 22 UNLV at home against the Nevada Wolfpack. And I forgot to mention on the call for this game will be John Sadak and Robert Turbin for the CBS Sports Network.
Yeah, I got the UNLV Rebels winning this one. So yeah, it's yours, Florio.
UNLV can clinch a spot in the Mountain West Conference Championship game, and the Rebels are led by quarterback Hajj Malik Williams, who has 23 total touchdowns and leads the Mountain West Conference with a 157.4 passer rating. Nevada is stuck in a 5-game losing streak under their first-year coach, Jeff Schoch, and has 6 one-score losses this season. Can they keep this one close? I don't think so. I got UNLV winning this game. Final score, 35-21. UNLV over Nevada. MF, your thoughts?
UNLV should win this one, and there's really nothing more to add. Florio, what's yours?
One final game, guys. The final game of the night on this wild and crazy night here as part of our football feast. 10:15 kickoff on ESPN from the Big 12. The number, let me see what number they are. The now number 19 BYU Cougars. Well, it's the battle of the Cougars. The number 19 BYU Cougars at home at Lavelle Edwards Stadium in Provo, Utah. And they're going to be hosting the Houston Cougars. And you can find this game over on ESPN. Dave Fleming, Brock Osweiler, and I believe it's Cherie Burris or Stormy Bonatoni. I know one of them's their reporter. And BYU opening up as a 12.5-point favorite. So BYU will know what needs to be done ahead of the matchup against Houston, which has scored 13 points in its last 2 games. BYU's on a 2-game slide, and a +5 turnover ratio at Lavelle Edwards Stadium will be a difference. Will it get the Cougars into the Big 12 championship game? Only time will tell. But BYU will have no trouble with Houston. BYU wins comfortably, 33-14. BYU over Houston. MF, your thoughts on the final game of the night?
Agreed. BYU should win and win this one going away. Bullock, is yours.
Yeah, I got BYU winning this one as well. So with that being said, Florio, let's put a bow on this long night.
A wild and crazy night indeed. So, yes, indeed, that will put the bow on this 3rd annual TXN Sports World Football Feast 2024. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in, not just tonight, but all year long. You guys really are the best fans in the world, not only for staying up late with us, but also for putting up with our rants, especially tonight. So, with that being said, that puts the bow on this. So remember, of course, tomorrow night, we are taking tomorrow off, of course, for Thanksgiving. But we will be back again on Friday night for the Week 13 edition of TXN Sports World NFL Friday. We'll have a quick recap of the Thanksgiving and Black Friday games. And we will also preview the remaining games in Week 13 of the NFL. A lot of good games here, especially on our side of the ledger this time around. And then Saturday night, possibly after Survivor Series, we will hop on here and have a special edition of Talking Wrestling TXN, our recap of the Survivor Series. And in the Mikey's Mindset, MF, I know there's this MLW card he wants to talk about, so we'll let him have his say in that in the Mikey's Mindset. And then Monday night, we do it all over again, Ridiculously Raw, the fallout from Survivor Series, Monday Night Raw review, and of course, I will have the results of the TNA Turning Point special. And then we'll take it from there. So, and then next week, of course, it's championship week. So we'll preview the Power Conference Championship games, and we'll take it from there. So that's it. So until Friday night for the Week 13 edition of TXN Sports World NFL Friday, this is Anthony Florio here for good old MF Michael Fletcher, for Michael Bullock. And of course, always and forever in spirit, our one and only Twisted Angel, D.D. Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up, Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. And especially today, be good to each other. And until Friday night for NFL Friday, you've been watching our third annual 2024 TXN Sports World Football Feast right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and streaming.com. For everybody who has been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long. Bye, everybody. Bye. And on behalf of all of us here at TXN Sports World, we want to wish each and every one of you out there a very safe and happy Thanksgiving from all of us here. Now, more today especially, be good to each other. That's all I ask. And
happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yes, sir. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. And until Friday night, you've been watching TXN Sports World's Football Feast 2024 right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and streamy.com. And for everybody who has been a part of this one, for now, like I said, Anthony Florio, so long. Bye, everybody. Bye. And happy Thanksgiving, my friends.